Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Gina Ippolito, and this is a breakdown of Wild Blue Yonder, the second of 3 Doctor Who specials celebrating the show's 60th anniversary. This Russell T. Davies penned episode picks up right after the events of the Star Beast and features a little bit of body horror and spooky vibes in the vein of some past favorites. Eric is on paternity leave, and as the resident Doctor Who nerd at New Rockstars, I'm filling in on these next 2 Who episodes, so let's break this down for all the Easter eggs, references, and deeper layers of meaning that you might have missed. We open in England in 1666, just as Isaac Newton exits his house to go sit under an apple tree. He's played by Nathaniel Curtis, best known for playing Ash in the Russell T. Davies series It's a Sin. An apple falls on Newton's head, and just as he's about to have his epiphany, the TARDIS crashes into the apple tree. Upon learning the year, the Doctor tells Newton to stay away from London. He's warning him about the Great Fire of London, which ravaged the city that same year. We saw in the 4th Doctor episode, The Visitation, that the Doctor was actually responsible for starting the fire. 14 accidentally spoils that Newton will be knighted, calling him Sir, and then telling him, not yet, spoilers. This was a repeated word of River Song, who said it to the Doctor on multiple occasions, including right before her death in Forest of the Dead. Newton was born in 1643, so he's 23 here, and he won't be knighted by Queen Anne until 1705 at the age of 62, so it's still a ways off. Just like she was when she met Agatha Christie, Donna is absolutely delighted to meet him and can't resist making a pun.
You can appreciate
the gravity of the situation.
They fly off, and Newton misremembers the word as mavity, which has ripple effects that we see throughout the episode. In the pirate planet, the 4th Doctor claimed to have given Newton the idea for gravity by dropping an apple on his head and then properly explaining it to him over dinner. That episode was actually written by Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy author Douglas Adams, and I think we see some Adams inspiration later on. We cut to the opening credits. This episode was directed by Tom Kingsley, best known for directing episodes of the show Ghosts, the original English version, not the American one on CBS. Kingsley was super excited about working on Doctor Who and said on X/Twitter that he was watching with his dad, who watched the live broadcast of the first ever episode when he was 11 years old. I just think it's so cool how much everyone who works on this show seems to love working on this show. The TARDIS, heavily damaged and belting out the US Air Force song, crash lands in an unknown spaceship. This song is where we get the title of the episode. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. I'm so sorry. As the Doctor pokes his head inside to assess the damage, we hear the cloister bell ring. And again, this is never a good thing. In Logopolis, the 4th Doctor told Adric that the ringing of the cloister bell signaled wild catastrophes and a sudden calls to man the battle stations. The Doctor says that the TARDIS can regenerate itself. We've seen this in episodes like the 11th Hour and the Ghost Monument, but in those instances, the Doctor triggered the regeneration. So this might be the first time we hear that it can happen automatically. In the past, the TARDIS changing interiors was referred to as basically the same process as changing a desktop background. So that's less a regeneration, more like a makeover. After he sticks the Sonic in the keyhole, the Doctor says it can rebuild. Maybe a play on We Can Rebuild Him from the $6 Million Man. Donna mentions her grandfather, setting up his return at the end of this episode. In true Wilfred form, he didn't like his little granddaughter singing the US Air Force song in primary school since it sounded jaunty and fun, but was actually about the military going to war. Donna says,
Could be worse. We've got air, we've got light, we've got mavity.
The Doctor knows that mavity isn't the right word and that their interaction with Newton altered something, but he keeps mum. I mean, they've got other stuff to worry about right now. The interior of the ship has hexagonal patterns on the walls and floor, a really common design trope in sci-fi. Apparently, hexagons are used in some NASA creations and are very efficient and sturdy. Donna asks if it was just her or if Isaac Newton was hot, and 14 responds,
He was, wasn't he? He was so hot. Oh. Is that who I am now?
The Doctor is still feeling out who this iteration is. Last episode, he said he absolutely loved Donna and then said, do I say things like that now? He seems to be more open with his feelings, and by the way, if Captain Jack Harkness heard him say what he just did, he would absolutely die with joy. The TARDIS takes off without them, with the Sonic still in the keyhole, and Donna gives a very 10th Doctor, what? The Doctor has been separated from the TARDIS before. In Voyage of the Damned, it floated away and landed back on Earth while he was still on the Titanic. In Fires of Pompeii, it gets sold to Caecilius, and that's just to name a couple examples. He explains the HADS, Hostile Action Displacement System, to Donna, which we've seen before in the 11th Doctor episode Cold War and in many comics and books. We've also seen the TARDIS run away from danger, like in Utopia, when it went to the end of the universe to try and shake off Jack Harkness, who was clinging to the outside. A voice on the ship's intercom states Fenn's Law, and the interior rearranges itself. With the TARDIS gone and its translation matrix with it, nothing is being translated. As they get into the orange cart, the Doctor says, your car, m'lady, and she responds, thank you, Parker, a reference to Lady Penelope and her driver Parker from the 60s sci-fi series Thunderbirds, which used marionette puppets. They meet the slow-moving robot that Donna dubs Jimbo, whose design reminds me of Marvin the Paranoid Android from Hitchhiker's Guide. Also kind of looks like a more retro smile robot that the Doctor encountered before. Donna steals the Doctor's catchphrase and ribs him with it.
Allons, as idiots say.
Them speeding along, having a good time in this cart, reminded me of the first time they met, in The Runaway Bride, when they used segways to traverse the tunnel leading under the Thames. In the cockpit, 14 discovers that the ship fell through a wormhole, and what they're looking at is the nothing at the end of creation, which is why there aren't any stars. Donna says,
That's my family. Over there.
This echoes the sentiment she expressed when she was similarly separated from her family in the Stolen Earth, where she said,
That's my family. My whole world.
Traveling with the Doctor often puts companions at risk of never seeing their loved ones again. 14 says he's never been this far out. In the Flux, he went outside the universe to the space between universes, and like I said earlier, in Utopia, he went to the end of the universe, but there were still things to be seen there. And of course, now I'm thinking of the terrifying Toclafane that the Master made out of the last of the human race, and I'm going to have nightmares. Speaking of nightmares, this is when 14 and Donna hear a metallic clanking noise that they can't identify, followed by the word "Collis" on the intercom, and Jimbo takes another step. The Doctor tries to work out what the words mean, saying, like a list, or solicitors, or a countdown, or instructions. Donna guesses it might be a warning, and he responds, slow warning. This whole part sort of foreshadows what we find out in the end, that it was, in fact, a very slow countdown. The Doctor licks the base plate repetition filaments, something he used to do all the time to figure out any number of things, like what planet he was on, or if something was dangerous. The Doctor and Donna separate, and then it gets cold, something that happens in horror movies when there are ghosts or demons around, so you know some shit is about to go down. This is 20 minutes into the episode, and we're only now being introduced to the big bad, and I just love that the whole thing is like slow played.
Thank you to Geology for partnering with us to bring you this video, and also for giving our audiences exclusive access to their new Try Before You Buy program. You've probably heard me mention Geology before, the 28-time award-winning skin, hair, and body care company recognized in Men's Health, Hypebeast, Birdie, Esquire, Ask Men, and Oprah Daily grooming awards. But hey, I get it. It can be tough to change a skincare routine or start a new one. Part of what's nice about Geology is they create simple and effective skincare and hair care routines customized just for you. And now, if you want to try that new routine out before you buy a bunch of stuff, you can. Geology is offering new Rockstars viewers a free trial of their 8-piece skincare set with their Try Before You Buy program. You can experience a new skincare routine risk-free for 14 days. If you don't love it, send it back. It's that easy. The set is valued at $139. All you pay today is the price of shipping. And if you order today, get a free vitamin C plus E ferulic acid as a gift. You don't need to return it. That's yours. Just head to geology.com/newrockstars and get your free trial. And Geology will send you a personalized skincare routine. And if you don't mind me, I'm going to take some Geology and look good for the rest of this video.
Donna talks to who she thinks is the Doctor about how long her family will wait for her in the alley to come back. And while she's giving this heartfelt monologue, the real Doctor in the other room also gets cold, and who he thinks is Donna walks in, our first indication that something is terribly wrong. Donna says that her grandfather would install himself with a sleeping bag and a thermos, and he would sit there forever waiting for her. This is a bit of foreshadowing for him being right there at the end of the episode. We saw Wilfred in Partners in Crime, sitting up the hill and stargazing, looking for aliens. Donna visited him up there and brought him a thermos. The Doctor has an equally heartfelt and absolutely wonderful monologue about his TARDIS enduring the rise and fall of civilizations around it. It's been the only real constant in his life, and the story mirrors a lot of his friendships with companions. They often start off rocky, at least in the first episode where most companions don't know who he is yet. Then they blossom until eventually something happens and the companion leaves or he leaves them, and then he's left all alone, only for the cycle to repeat itself. When asked if he misses home, Gallifrey, 14 responds that it got complicated. Okay, so the Spy Master killed the last remaining Time Lords on Gallifrey during the Timeless Child, and a death particle destroyed all remaining life on the planet. There may be a few Time Lords out there in the wild still, but for now, Gallifrey is basically a dead planet, so yeah, I'd say that's complicated. And then we get this terrifying moment.
My arm's too long. Look.
And in the vein of episodes like Midnight, Blink, and The Empty Child, this episode takes a turn to straight up horror. David Tennant and Catherine Tate each get to play 2 roles, and they absolutely crush it. These creepy long arms each of them has are actually a practical effect. There's a great behind the scenes video where you can see them on set with these absurd looking prosthetics. It is awesome. 14 tries to talk with the creatures.
Did you come from outside?
We came from the nothing.
We are not things.
The not things chase them down, unable to maintain their body size and shape. The Doctor works out that they have their memories and they've been turning heat into mass to create their bodies, which is why it got cold earlier. The intercom says the word "brate," and things rearrange, separating the Doctor and Donna again. And the Dutch angles, the flickering lights, the echoing noises all serve to disorient and basically creep us out. out. The Doctor and Donna reunite ×2, and now we don't know who's real and who's a not thing. Everyone tries to convince everyone else that they're the genuine article, and then we get an exchange that's sure to divide fans. Fake Donna tells the Doctor that he's not from Gallifrey, and he doesn't know where he's from. This is a reference to the Timeless Child arc from 13's run. The Doctor was originally the Timeless Child, a mysterious being found beneath a wormhole by a woman named Tecteun. The Timeless Child could regenerate its body and appearance, and Tecteun spliced this gene into her own, creating the Time Lords. It's unclear where the Doctor came from or what the Doctor really is. A lot of fans thought that Davies might retcon or possibly even ignore this storyline from showrunner Chris Chibnall, but this makes it clear that he's doing no such thing. Fake Donna says that when she was the Dr. Donna, she saw into 14's mind and saw everything that happened in the 15 years since he and Donna traveled together, and he is shook. The Doctor's carrying a ton of guilt about the Flux. That was the universe-wide apocalypse that 14 confirms here wiped out half the universe. It was created by the Division, which was led by Tecteun as a means of destroying this universe and the Doctor, who had forgotten history as a Division agent that they were starting to remember. The Flux was also meant to catapult the Division into a new universe where they could once again dictate events, but it was hijacked by the Swarm and Tecteun was killed. The Flux was eventually absorbed before it could destroy the entirety of this universe. Yes, this show is bonkers. I love it. This emotional exchange gives the Doctor hope that he's talking to his best friend. I just love the emotion and vulnerability in Tennant's voice here. It's something very rarely seen from the Doctor, and he nails it. But then the rug gets ripped right out from under him as he watches fake Donna's legs melt into the ground in front of him. Ugh. Real Donna tricks fake Doctor into revealing himself, and he does the upside-down spider walk that was made famous by The Exorcist, but has popped up in many horror movies since then. The real Doctor has a very human freakout. Tennant loves throwing a good rager while playing the Doctor. I think here he's mad that he let himself trust fake Donna. The Doctor doesn't traditionally talk about their feelings much, and this incarnation did, but here it definitely bit him in the ass, and I think we'll see him close himself off a little as a result. All 4 Doctors and Donnas reunite, and these two acting opposite themselves is brilliant. They're very clearly having fun with it, with Tennant talking as fast as he can, trying to outlogic the other him, and Tate complimenting how she looks with a wink and a nod. This trick the real Doctor pulls with the salt is something that's used in shows like Supernatural, with demons being unable to cross a salt line, and in the X-Files episode Bad Blood, a vampire had to stop and pick up and count every spilled sunflower seed before he could continue his attack. Real Doctor tells fake Donna,
"Come on, stop copying and make your own minds up. Cross the line."
One of the most disturbing episodes from the previous Tennant and Tate era was Midnight, when the Doctor encounters a creature who can possess people and repeat everything that's said. He was left deeply unsettled by the whole experience and by anyone copying him. The Not Things want to use the TARDIS to travel to Earth, and they're close to becoming completely Doctor and completely Donna. And if that happens, the TARDIS won't be able to tell the difference between them. But the Doctor figures out that the more afraid they are, the more they think, the easier it is to copy them. He says, if we're slow, they can't read us, and I'm gonna liken this to a sort of mental T-Rex. But of course, 14 isn't capable of not thinking, and he discovers that what's been making that metallic clanging this whole time is the dead captain. It's this sort of Beta Ray Bill horse alien creature banging against the outside of the ship. Freaky. After that, he quickly puts all the pieces together with a little help from Donna. The captain put a very slow plan in motion and then killed herself so the Not Things wouldn't realize what she'd done. The words on the intercom are a very slow countdown. Jim the robot has been very slowly walking down the hallway to set off a very slow bomb. But the action in the last 10 minutes of this episode is very fast. Donna and Not Donna fight, the Not Doctor gives chase on all fours like a creepy, besuited wolf, and the TARDIS comes back just in the nick of time. There's this terrifying moment where the Doctor brings the wrong Donna on board before realizing his mistake, and I legit thought this was gonna be how Donna goes out. It's Doctor Who, so you never know. I mean, the 11th Doctor traveled with a fake ganger Amy Pond for a while, so the Doctor asks Donna if she has knowledge of what he's been through for the past 15 years, and he seems sad when she says no. But he also closes off and won't share with her, so no doubt that's a result of being burned by trusting the not thing Donna. And they land back in Camden Market, where they originally left off, and just like she thought he'd be, Wilfred is waiting for her. Bernard Cribbins back in his last role before his passing. I gotta admit, this whole end part had me tearing up. His whole performance here is so incredible. When he sees the Doctor with his old face, the face that saved his life, sacrificed his life for him, just, oh.
I'll never thought I'd see you again after all these years.
Honestly, this is a sentiment that probably applies to Cribbins as well. He probably genuinely felt this. I mean, to come back to Doctor Who 3 times in his life as 2 different characters, his emotion and joy just seems so genuine. And Wilfred tips them off that something isn't right with this world right before all hell breaks loose in the street and a plane crashes. Davies loves his crashes. The end of the episode says, in loving memory of Bernard Cribbins, 1928 to 2022. He didn't live to see the these episodes air, but what a legacy. There's one more episode in the 60th specials, The Giggle, coming December 9th, which features the return of the Celestial Toymaker, an old foe from classic Doctor Who. So when I did my classic Who watch a few years back, 3 of the 4 episodes of the original Celestial Toymaker arc were missing. But I watched the 4th one, I was confused, although I managed to fill it out with the TARDIS Wiki explanation, so I'm very excited to see this one with Neil Patrick Harris stepping into the role. Let us know in the comments what you thought about this episode and if you're excited for the next one. Thank you to the awesome Noah Chen for helping research and write this episode. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Gina Ippy. Follow New Rockstars, subscribe to New Rockstars. Thanks for watching. Bye.